Let's move on to the next email today. What's up next?
All right, the next one is from Wael Moray. Hey, John, love your show. So apparently, Idris Elba is replacing Will Smith as Deadshot in Suicide Squad 2. And as much as I'm disappointed that Will Smith isn't going to be Deadshot anymore, I couldn't think of someone better to replace him than Idris. I think he can nail it. What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, I was surprised to hear Idris Elba was stepping in because, look, let's follow a chain of events here that we've had. Here's our chain of events. Number one, we have James Gunn coming on to direct Suicide Squad 2. The next link in the chain of events was these statements coming out that James Gunn is basically going to completely redo the Suicide Squad, not have any of the returning characters, all new characters. It's a relaunch of Suicide Squad. Okay. Then we hear that, except for Harley Quinn, and that Margot Robbie's going to be a part of it. And we're like, okay, that makes sense. I mean, she was the most popular character out of that Suicide Squad movie. If you're going to do another Suicide Squad, I guess it makes sense that you'd bring that one character along. Then they announced that Will Smith has stepped down from Suicide Squad, to which I kind of said, didn't they already basically say you weren't coming back anyway because they weren't bringing back any other characters? So why announce that you're stepping away from it? I didn't understand that at all because I didn't think we were going to get Deadshot in the movie. Well, now the next link in the chain is dropped. Apparently we are going to get Deadshot, except it's going to be played by Idris Elba. Now, I've been seeing some people online. Let me say this first. I've been seeing some people online saying like, wow, they really upgraded the Deadshot character. And I disagree. I don't think Idris Elba is an upgrade over Will Smith. Now, I'm not saying he's a downgrade. Not at all. Not at all. But I think a lot of people forget that when Will Smith wants to be dramatic in a film, he's great. Like, there's an Academy Award nomination on his resume for a reason. And whether you see him in things like Pursuit of Happiness, or whether you see things like him in 7 Pounds, or you see him in things like Ali, which he got his Academy Award nomination for, this dude isn't just a big charismatic goofball, which we love seeing on screen. He's also a damn good actor. And I think a lot of people forget about that. Now, moving on to Idris Elba. Again, I don't think he's an upgrade to Will Smith, certainly no downgrade, but he's a very interesting choice because he's a very different kind of screen presence than Will Smith is. Will Smith is great in his own right. Idris Elba is great in his own right, but Idris Elba is about as different of a screen presence as you can get from a Will Smith. So for them to go with him for something like this, I think is really fascinating because it makes me wonder that how much do they want to change the character as a whole, or how differently will this character now come across to us on screen now that it's being played by a guy like Idris Elba. I find that fascinating. I find that really interesting. It's also interesting to note that now Idris Elba becomes just the next actor who has feet in both the MCU and now the DC worlds as well. There used to be a time that people thought, oh, if you're in a Marvel movie, you're not allowed to be in a DC movie. It's like, yes, you can. Actors are allowed to be in whatever they want. And now we have yet another guy who's straddling that fence. He's in both. And I think that's pretty... Now, Heimdall, of course, is dead in the MCU. We found that out. But maybe he comes back after the snap, too. I mean, after what happens in Endgame, too. Who knows? But now he's the next actor to do both. So I love Idris Elba. Ever since I got introduced to him as Stringer Bell in The Wire, which he was amazing in. If you guys have never watched The Wire, one of the greatest television shows ever made, and he was amazing at called Stringer Bell. It's a really interesting choice. It's a bold choice, and it's certainly a choice that's going to get a lot of people talking.